Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So Spring of Suffering is here, the second installment in the Sufferings and Pain series. So Winter of Woe has ended and now we have Iron Fist to deal with. And this fight objectively is annoying. It really is. I can't get too mad about this fight, even if I wanted to. Because it's doable. It's definitely soloable. It is, not a massive unit sink. There are some options. Most champions can do this fight if you're willing to do it for very, very long time. So, in a way, Kabam has accomplished the goal here. The fight's hard, it's a challenge, and it's doable. On the other hand, though, I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I did not had that much fun with it. And that mainly is because of the pressure gauge node. It is probably the most hated node. Well, not the most, but top 10 most hated nodes for me personally in the entire game. It just fragments the fight and it forces you to count hits the entire time and it slows the fight down and it's just incredibly frustrating. So, in today's video, I am going to be showing you guys solo with Wong. Fairly sloppy one, but solo is a solo. I use the 7-star rank 1. And obviously, I will do that after breaking down the fight, reading out the nodes, and at the end of the video, I will suggest you guys the best counters for each objective. So, I am root. Basically means you get rooted every time he throws a special attack, which actually is not that bad because it makes it easier to punish his specials with your heavies if you dex it or get the blocks in. By encroaching root. And that effectively is same thing as encroaching stun. Except it's every 12 seconds, you get rooted for 4 seconds. If you activate special attack during the time the timer expires, you don't get rooted. If you activate special attack anytime after you're rooted, you get released from it. Pressure gauge is by far the most annoying thing here, in my opinion. Damaging fighting mechanics all across the board. And you start with a counter of 5. Every time you land a hit, you gain 1 charge. Every time you block a hit, you lose 1 charge. And if you get to 10, you take a massive burst of damage and you effectively die. Or most champions will die. In essence, you don't want to ever get to 10. If you get to 0, as in if you block too many hits, you lose all your power, which isn't that bad of a deal. The problem here is it's just annoying. It really is. You can't even, begin a fight with like a full combo. And it's just frustrating to deal with. There are some champions who can get around with, but for most part, you just need to play around the node. And then we have Ebb and Flow Heavy, which means they have protection, unless you knock them down with a heavy attack. Carry on. Steady as she goes. Each time the attacker blocks an attack, the defender gains 25% inexorable passive for 4 seconds, which basically gives them the serpent can't be pushed back type of ability. It kind of looks and feels like unstoppable a bit, but effectively you can still land your combos fine. You just can't push them back further in the map, and it increases their combat power rate, which actually isn't the worst thing because you kind of want them to be, you want Iron Fist to be throwing specials so you can block and parry them. So all natural is a brutal node that automatically hinders like 85% champions in this game. And it is the attacker cannot gain buffs and the defender cannot be inflicted with debuffs. This is such a BS node. It automatically, makes vast majority of the champions in game significantly worse. Then we have Ride Block 2. Whenever the attacker blocks a hit during the defender's specials, you gain a Bulwark passive. Sorry, it's just getting very sleepy. Sorry, very late. And Ride Block is good. So you want to parry or block and his special attacks to increase your block proficiency. Then we have Kinetic Conveyance, the second node that's actually helping you, which means every time you block a hit, you gain power, and that means you can use more special attacks, and that is exactly what you want to be doing. And finally, you cannot use ability accuracy modifications here. So champions that overly rely on debuffs are going to be heavily hindered. Problem is, in some objectives, you pretty much have no choice but to use them. I'm going to be showing now the Wong solo here in background. And a lot of people will inevitably ask, Wong does not have to be duped for this. And this is a 7-star rank 1. I do have, I believe, a 20% boost on. But it is a 7-star rank 1. Unduped Wong works. 6-star rank 4, 6-star rank 5 Wong will work as well. Wong can also kind of mitigate the pressure gauge if you do make a mistake. If you have all the regeneration runes active, you will hardly take any damage from taking the pressure gauge, burst. Other than that, the rotation for Wong is very simple. You want to spam some level 1s and collect your spells, then drop your level 2 to refresh them. And then for most part, once you ramped up, you don't even really need to bother, knocking him down. You're still going to be outputting plenty of damage. Ideally, you do want to knock Iron Fist down after his, special with a heavy counter of your own, and then activate your level 2 for massive damage and massive regen. Once Wong is ramped up, however, he's an absolute menace, and, that will be noticeable. And the easiest way to use heavy attack knockdowns is to punish Iron Fist's special attack with the heavy attack your own, especially if you're rooted, because that kind of fixes any timing, any spacing issues for all champions. And now we're going to see that I made a mistake. I should have left that heavy go and then dropped special 2. But for the most part, we are ramping up just fine. I do make another error here and I lose all my power, but that's fine. I need to make sure I don't take that burst still, ideally though. So here I'm going for another level 2, even though I probably should have thrown level 1, but that's fine. And I definitely should have let that heavy go. You can do this fight much better and much cleaner than I did it here. And I did not even, add a relic to my Wong, which would definitely be helpful. Here we can see why Wong is, that good. Get that regen in, and I only had 1 energy damage rune active. So that regen would have been significantly more powerful had I had all energy damage runes. But I'm going to work on that. And Wong also turns out to be quite tanky, tremendously helpful here. And now I'm finally fully ramped up, better late than never. And here I'm going to knock him down, and then I'm going to go for level 2 and just look at that damage and look at that regen. So this is what you want to be doing. You want to punish their special with a heavy of your own, and then, release your own unblockable level 2. And that's pretty much it. And at this point, I generally don't really care if he has the protection on or not. Obviously, here I take it away, and I do get a massive regen in. Again, man, Wong can be busted in fights like this. And as we can see, once you set up with Wong, the fight's very straightforward. I get to my special attacks quickly. It's easy to knock the Iron Fist down. Dropped at level 2. He dead. I regen. Super. Mega special. Awesome. Easy money. Right, so the best options for the objectives. We have, first objective, medium defensive utility. Wong is the absolute MVP. Captain America Infinity War can do great as well. Nightcrawler does fine. In my initial prize, I got about, third or fourth half of him down with my 6-star rank 5 not ascended Nightcrawler. But, that was also when I was learning the fight. And I have heard of people doing it with Killmonger as well, especially considering that your level 2s help you mitigate the block damage that you take from Iron Fist, and, Killmonger is quite tanky to begin with. It's just going to be a longer fight because you can't include debuffs. So no bleeds and no massive level 3 bleed. So the second objective for Fantastic Four / A-Force, by far and away the best option, Human Torch. You do want to go for solo with Human Torch, otherwise it can get pricey because the no debuff thing. But do remember that with Human Torch you can still enter your Nova Flame mode with level 3s, and you can get level 3s quite quickly. So even if you can't solo, Human Torch is a great option because you can do a lot of damage very quickly and have a solid first run, and then you can still finish it off if you just got your level 3s. which in this fight is not that hard. Now, alternate options are She-Hulk and Rogue, and I'm sure I have heard people using Invisible Woman as well, which fits for the second objective, and you would be doing 2 at a time. So Invisible Woman is a solid option for sure, but again, not that many people have her ranked up, I suppose. Best by far is Human Torch. And then the final Valiant objective, which is Science and Small. For me personally, Jessica Jones was definitely the way to go because she does have some regen in her kit. You can still get the passive Furies, and you can still get the Unstoppables and the Resistances. And, it was a bit finicky fight, but she did the job just fine. And we have Silk, who can do the fight as well, even though she doesn't have access to her damage. So she doesn't have access to her debuff, so her damage is significantly nerfed and gimped, but people have done it, and lots of people have her ranked up high enough. And the truth is, for most part, almost all the champions in this category will be heavily gimped, and it's just going to be a long and annoying fight. People said Spider-Ham, go for level 3, Silk, go for level 2s, Invisible Woman is an option as well. By far the best one is, however, in my opinion, Jessica Jones, because she gets kind of disturbed the least and she's quite tanky. I did get all the solos in personally as well on the stream. You guys can check it out if you want to see the fight itself. Again, Wong, I think, is overall MVP for this fight. So is Human Torch, to be honest, and Jessica Jones. Those are the 3 champions that I used to get my solos. Hope this video was helpful to you. And if it was, hit all the good buttons, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about